Hello everyone, welcome you all for another new video tutorial. With this video tutorial, we are going to learn about basic Git commands that you need to know. So let's look at the overview for today's session. First, we are going to look at how to fork a Git repository and then how to delete a fork that you have obtained for your Git repository. Then, what is Git clone? Then we are going to look at how to check the current active branch. Then we will be looking at how to switch to another Git branch using git checkout command and how to create a new local copy of a branch by using git checkout command. Then we are going to look at how git add, git status, git commit, git push, those commands are working. Then we are going to look at how to open a new pull request. Then finally, we are going to look at how git stash and git force commands are working. So first, let's look at how to fork a Git repository and how to delete a fork that you have obtained. So I will do a quick demonstration to show how you can fork a Git repository. So for this, as a prerequisite, you need to have a Git repository. So if you haven't signed up for Git, then you can go to their official website and then create a new account and get signed up for GitHub. Okay, so I'm going to use an open source repository of cypress.io. And here, if you want to fork this repository for your GitHub account, then you can navigate for this repository. And here you can see an option as fork. So you can click on this. Once you click on this, it will give you a window like this. So here there's an option as copy the develop branch only. So if you want to get only this branch, you can keep this config as it is. But if you want to get all the branches, then you can remove this tick and then click on create fork. So once the fork is created successfully, you can see under your username in the GitHub repository, the cypress.io repo has been forked. From here, you can see a button which has this drop down mentioning code. So here you can get the HTTPS web URL for the forked Git repository. So you can copy this URL, and I will be showing how to use this URL with the next command. But before going to that, I will show you if you want to delete the created fork, how to do that. So once you create the fork, here you can see the icon as settings. You can go to this settings icon and go to the down of the page. And here you can see option as delete this repository. So if you want to delete this repository, click on this. Then it will ask to type your username and the repository name to confirm. So once you enter this and click on this, it will delete the fork that you created. So if you want to get the fork again, then you can go back and get a new fork from the remote repository. Okay, so after you fork a clone, the next important command is git clone. So what is git clone? So if you want to get a copy of the repository or the remote repository for your local machine, then you can use this git clone command. So you have to type git clone and the repository web URL that I show you earlier. So I will show how to do this with a demonstration as well. So first, let's go through the slides. So with this git clone command, you can create a copy from that remote repository to your local machine. Then the next important command is how to check the active Git branch. So for that, you can use git branch command. So this will show what is the active branch that you are in during that time. Then if you want to switch to another Git branch, then you can use git checkout command. Here you have to type a git checkout and then you can give the branch name that you want to check out. So usually when you clone a Git repository, you will be in master branch. But if you want to send some changes for another branch, then you have to switch for that branch. During that time, you can use this command, git checkout, and then you have to give the branch name that you want to check out. Then how to create a new branch as a local copy of another branch. Assume that there are two branches as branch 1 and master branch, and you need to get a copy from branch 1 and then you need to do some file update and then need to send a PR for branch 1. So during this time, you have to get branch 1 for your local repository and then you have to push your changes for branch 1. So during this time, you can check out for git branch 1 and then you can create a new branch as a copy, as a carbon copy of that branch 1. So for that, you can use this git checkout -b command here. The difference is when you are switching for a new branch, you use git checkout command without -b. But if you want to create a new branch out of that branch, then you can use this git checkout -b option. And here you can give any name that you prefer. So after using this command, so it will create a copy in your local repository out of the currently active branch that you were in. Then what is git add command? So after you do some modification for a file or think that you add a new file or any change that you did for the repository, then you have to commit those changes. To commit those changes, you have to add all the modified files. So for that, you can use this git add command. So once you type git status, it will show all the updated files which were not committed in red color. So you can get the paths copied from there and then use it with this git add command. You have to type git add and then you have to provide the file path for this command. Then it will add all the untracked files to be later used for your git commit. Then what is git status? So as I mentioned previously, after you do some changes for files, then you can check what are the files that you have changed. So for that, you can use git status command. So once you type this, it will show all the untracked files that you have changed in red color. Then after you add these files by using git add command and then try out the git status command again, then it will show some files in green color. So these files will be the files that you have already added. That means these files are now in tracked state. So with this command git status, you can identify what are the untracked files that you have changed and what are the tracked files which are now ready to go with your new pull request. Then what is git commit command? So git commit command you can use when you are sending a new pull request. If you want to specify a message like what kind of operation you did, adding a new automation script or fixing a bug. Likewise, there will be a name for your commit message. So here you can use git commit -m, and then you can put whatever the message that you want to display in your PR. So for that, you can use this git commit -m command. Then what is git push? So after you have completed all these steps, you can use git push origin and the branch name to send your changes for the remote repository. So here the branch name means you have to provide the current active branch that you were working in your local repository. So if you were working on branch 1, then you have to type git push origin branch 1. So once you type this, it will ask for the GitHub username and the GitHub password, or else if you have set up a security token in GitHub, you have to provide the username and the security token. Once those are provided successfully, you can see in the command line the percentage, or it will show the progress of sending the files, and once that is 100%, so the git push command is successfully done. Then how to open a new pull request. So once you send the changes, you can navigate for the GitHub by using a web browser and go to your account. Then it will show you to a place to open a new PR. So from there, you can select from which branch you have done this change, and then for which branch you need to send these changes. So you can see here, there's an option as compare. So from here, you can select your branch name. That means the branch that you worked on, like branch 1. And from here, if you want to send the changes to master branch, then you have to select master. If it is another branch, then you have to select that branch, and then have to click on this create pull request button. Then what is git stash? So git stash means, think of a scenario like you are working on 2 branches. You are working on the master branch, and during that time, there comes a requirement for you to send a pull request with some file change to another branch. Let's take that branch as branch 1. So during that time, you were working on the master branch in your local repository, and you have changed some files in the master branch. But as you now need to send the pull request for branch 1, then you have to switch your branch from master branch to branch 1. So when you're switching from master branch to branch 1, GitHub will give you a message as you have some local file changes in your master branch. So you have to save these changes before switching the branches. So in that case, if you want to save the changes to the master branch that you were doing, and then you want to switch for the branch 1, then you can use this git stash command and save the changes to master branch, and then can successfully switch to the other branch that you need to send the PR. So for that, this git stash command will be used. Next, what is git force? So git force comes into picture in scenarios like this. So usually when you are sending a pull request, there is a file called as git ignore. So in this git ignore file, if you want to stop someone committing certain files, you can include those kind of files in that git ignore file. So if you have included files there, then usually if you type a git add and try to add a file like that, then GitHub will give you a message that these files are ignored in the git ignore. Then if you are sure about the operation that you are going to do, then type a -f. So here that means by forcefully we are telling for git, yes, this is this operation that I need to do. So please do it for me. So during such kind of scenarios, you can use this -f option along with your git add. So the same -f option can be used during git push commands as well. Assume that in use cases like there are some conflicts in the remote branch. So even though there are some conflicts, if you want to send that change during that time, sometimes GitHub can give you a message whether you are sure about this operation. So there, if you want to forcefully send that change, then you can use this git push command also with -f option. So that is the those are the like scenarios where we use git force. Okay, so those are the main commands that I wanted to discuss during this. You can navigate for the forked repository and click on this code drop down, then copy this HTTPS web URL for this repository, and then go to command line and open a terminal. So now we are going to clone this repository for your machine. You have to use the command git clone for that. So one important thing that you need to do here is, if you haven't installed Git on your Linux machine, you can get it installed by using apt-get commands. So as a prerequisite, you need to get it installed if you haven't. So when you get this 100% and done message in your terminal, that means you have successfully cloned the repository. You can type ls and check whether it's already there. Now you can navigate inside this Cypress folder and then type git branch. So you can see, so their default branch is having the name develop. So this will show the current active branch that you are in. So if you want to switch to another branch, you want to send the PR not for the develop branch, but for another branch, then during that time, you have to switch for that required branch. So you can check what are the available branches by using git branch, then press the tab from your keyboard. Press the tab button from your keyboard, then it will give a message like this: display all 2523 possibilities. If you type yes, it will show all the available branches that this repository is having. Okay, so let's take this develop to branch. I'm copying this branch name. Now I want to switch for that develop to branch. So what I have to do is, I have to type git checkout and then copy the branch name and paste here. It will show that you are switching to origin develop to branch. Now let's see whether we have successfully switched. Git branch. So once you type git branch again, now it will show in green color what is your current active branch. Okay, now I am in develop to branch. So now you want to do some file change in this develop to branch and you need to send a PR for that branch. Then during this time, you need to create a copy out of this branch for your machine to do the required file changes. So for that, you can use the git checkout command and you have to type -b to create a new branch. And then here you can provide any name. Let's give my branch. This will show me switch to a new branch and it will specify the branch name. So let's check the branch again. Okay, so now I am in my branch. So what happened was it got this develop to branch, and out of this develop to branch, it created a copy for me as my branch. Now I can open this my branch from any IDE, and I can do the file changes that I want to do. Okay, now I'm going to open it using Visual Studio Code. From here also you can check the branch. Yes, I am in my branch. So let's do some file changes here. I will be going for this binary.js file and adding a comment. Then I have to change the file. I will change another file. And save the file. So after you do these changes, now you can come back here and check the status by using git status command. So here it will show me that there are two files that you have modified, and these files are not committed yet. So this red color will denote that you haven't committed these files yet. So if you want to commit these changes now, then you can use git add command and then copy this path and paste it here. Do the same for the next one as well. Okay, now let's check the status again. Now it will show me these red color files in green color. So this means now I have already committed these changes. Next, I can type a message for my commit. For that, I can use git commit -m, and this is my test PR. So I'm giving the message. You can type anything here that suits for the task that you are doing, and we'll type in and we'll hit enter. Then after that, finally you can push these changes. So to push these changes, you can use git push command, git push origin, and then you have to give the branch name that you worked. So the branch name is my branch. It will ask for the username. Apart from that, there are two other commands that we need to know. One is git -f command, and the other one is git stash command. So as I mentioned earlier, I will show you how this git stash is working. So for that, I am switching back for develop branch. Git checkout develop. Okay, now I am in develop branch. Now I am in this branch. So I will be changing something here. Go to here and I'm adding some comment. Save the file and come back here and check the status. Now it will show me that I have updated this build linux binary.sh file, but suddenly I get a requirement to send a new PR for the other branch, which is develop 2 branch. So in that case, I want to switch back for the develop 2 branch. Even though I was working on this develop branch, now I want to switch to the other branch. So I'm going to, without committing this file, by having this file changed locally, I'm trying to check out for the develop 2 branch. So during this scenario, the changes that you did in the develop branch, if you go back and check the checkout develop, it status. So you can see the change that you did previously. So before you switch from this branch to another branch, if you want to save this, you can use this git stash command. Now it will show me that saved working directory and index state to develop. So this change is now locally saved. So now I can switch my branch to the other branch that I want to do the change. So this is the recommended way. So if you want to switch between branches by having some local changes in one branch, during those kind of scenarios, you can use this git stash. So those are the stuff that I wanted to demonstrate using this video tutorial. So I think this video will be helpful for someone who is new for GitHub and who is new to work with GitHub commands. And if you love this video and think that with this video is helpful for you, you can subscribe for our YouTube channel and you can watch videos like this in the future as well. So thank you for watching this video.